This is a short video where I'll just talk about how I would recommend students set themselves up in order to get the most out of sitting a mock. First, you need to come to the ISS platform. This is an ACCA hosted platform which is set up to try and replicate the computer-based exam environment as best it can. The first thing you'll need to do is find the mock exam and assign it to yourself. So you'll come to Browse Exams, and if you go down here to Performance Management and scroll down, and we've got the PM pre-September 25 mock exam, and you'll assign it. I've already done that, so you can't reassign it, but that would work for you if that's the first time. Then you go to your assignments, you go to the PM ones, and down here I've got the PM pre-September 25 mock. Yours will say start. I've already clicked on it, so it's asking me if I want to resume. There'll be a series of pages with instructions that will come up. I've already been through those, and then you get to this bit that says section A. Now what this doesn't have is a timer, so my recommendation is to also set yourself up with a timer. There's various apps you can use. I'm just using the one I've got on my system here. So I can add a timer, and I've set myself a 3-hour timer, and I save it, and this one I can pop out on top, and it will stay on top just like we would have in the exam environment. Obviously I have control over this one. In the actual exam, that will count down and the exam will end. The screen will close when it gets to 0. But you do get a couple of warnings as you go through. And then I'd recommend making sure that you've set your workspace up properly, switched off your phone, prevented any pop-ups for emails or anything appearing on your screen, because you want to try and get yourself into exam mode as much as possible, because that's when you're going to get the most out of doing this mock. I'd also invite you to give a little bit of thought to the order you would do the mock in. You could do section A, then B, then C. A lot of people like to do section A, then section C, and then section B. I think if you haven't decided, then it's ideal if you can practice a few different ways and see what works best for you. The ACB option does seem to be very popular. And also think about the time you're going to spend on each question. There are 15 section A questions, 15 section B questions, and then the section C questions. We tend to work on approximately 1.8 minutes for each mark. Now each section A question is worth 2 marks, so that's about 3.6 minutes, but you will definitely have some that are quicker and some that are slower. But the whole of section A we should be spending 54 minutes on, and that's what I'd be doing. I'd be keeping an eye on the clock here. When this gets down to 2 hours and 6, if I've started on section A, I should be moving on to section B at that point, or section C at that point. Section B will also take the same amount of time, and then each section C question we should be allowing 36 minutes. Time discipline is one of the weakest areas that I think that students have when it comes to approaching the PM exam, and quite often they leave an entire section C question out. The chance of passing, if you've done that, is much lower. So it's a discipline that you need to practice. When the timer gets down, i.e. when you've used your 36 minutes for a question in section C, or you've used your 54 minutes for a section A, and it's 18 minutes for each one of the 3 section B questions, you need to stop and move on. The only time I would exempt that is if you are a few seconds off getting your answer, then obviously finish it, that's fine. But if you're quite far away, you should be stopping and moving on. So here we've set ourselves up, we've got the exam platform, we've turned off distractions, we've got a timer we're going to use, and so we'll make a start. I'm going to lose the timer because I'm recording this and I want to have time to not only do the question and answer, but also record it, and I can't do that within the time that's allowed. I'll do a separate recording for all of section A, another one for section B, and then separate recordings for section C. I would certainly advise doing the whole mock in one go, and then watching the debrief when you come back and you're reviewing your answers. So I'll see you on the next video.